And now we must discuss synonyms, which you might find as an easy topic for discussion, because everybody knows what synonym is. I don't want to discourage you, but in fact it is not quite so. In fact, it is quite the opposite, because synonymy is one of the modern linguistics' most controversial problems. The very existence of words traditionally called synonyms is disputed by some linguists, and the nature and essence of the relationships of these words is hotly debated and treated in quite different ways by the representatives of different linguistic schools. And now, first of all, let us speak about the word synonym, and let us define the term synonym. Synonyms are different words with almost identical or similar meanings. Words that are synonyms are said to be synonymous, and the state of being a synonym is called synonymy. And the problem here starts with the word almost identical or almost similar. As Mark Twain says, the difference between the right word and just the right word is a difference between the lightning and the lightning bug. So now let us deal with different examples to demonstrate what we mean by difficulty. I have always liked you very much. I admire your talent, but forgive me, I could never love you as a wife should love her husband. So in this extract, in which a young woman rejects a proposal of marriage, yes, the verbs like, admire, and love all describe feelings of attraction and fondness. Yet each of these three verbs, though they all describe more or less the same feeling of liking, describes it in its own way. I like you, in other words, I have certain warm feelings towards you, but they are not strong enough for me to describe them as love. So that like and love are in a way opposed to each other. The duality of synonyms is probably their most confusing feature. They are somewhat the same, and yet they are most obviously different. Both aspects of their dual characteristics are essential for them to perform their function in speech, revealing different aspects, shades, variations, and nuances of the same phenomenon. And now let us deal with another example. Was she a pretty girl? I would certainly have called her attractive. The second speaker in this short dialogue does his best to choose the word which would describe the girl most precisely. She was good-looking, yes, but pretty is probably too good a word for her, so that attractive is again, in a way, opposed to pretty. Not pretty, only attractive. But this opposition is, at the same time, firmly fixed on the sameness of pretty and attractive. Essentially, they both describe a pleasant appearance. Here are some more extracts which confirm that synonyms add precision to each detail of description and show the correct choice of a word from a group of synonyms may color the whole text. The first extract depicts a domestic quarrel. The infuriated husband shouts and glares at his wife, but his glare suddenly softened into a gaze as he turned his eyes on the little girl. In other words, he had been looking furiously at his wife, but when he turned his eyes on the child, he looked at her with tenderness. Another extract depicts a young father taking his child for a Sunday walk. Neighbors were apt to smile at the long-legged, bareheaded young man leisurely strolling along the street and his small companion demurely trotting by his side. The synonyms stroll and trot vividly describe two different styles of walking. The long, slow paces of the young man and the gait between a walk and a run of the short-legged child. In the following extract, an irritated producer is talking to an ambitious but not a very talented young actor. Think you can play Romeo? Romeo should smile, not grin, walk, not swagger, speak his lines, not mumble them. Here, the second synonym in each pair is quite obviously and intentionally contrasted and opposed to the first. Smile, not grin. Yet to grin means more or less the same as to smile, yes? Only perhaps denoting a broader and a rather foolish smile. In the same way, to swagger means to walk, but to walk in a defiant or insolent manner. Mumbling is also a way of speaking, but of speaking indistinctly or unintelligibly. As you can see, synonyms are one of the language's most important expressive means. The above examples convincingly demonstrate that the principal function of synonyms is to represent the same phenomena in different aspects, shades, variations, and nuances. And here is another example of how a great writer may use synonyms for stylistic purposes. In this extract, the author describes a group of survivors painfully retreating after a defeat in a battle. The Frontiers, it is the name of battalion, staggered rather than walked down the bumpy trench. About 50 men, the flotsam of the wrecked battalion, stumbled past them. They shambled heavily along, not keeping step or attempting to, bent wearily forward under the weight of their equipment, their unseeing eyes turned to the muddy ground. In this extract, the verb to walk is used with its three synonyms, each of which describes the process of walking in its own way. Yes, in its contrast to walk, the other three words do not merely convey the bare idea of going on foot, but connote the manner of walking as well. Stagger means to sway while walking, and also implies a considerable, sometimes painful effort. Stumble means to walk tripping over uneven ground or nearly falling. Shamble implies dragging one's feet while walking. A physical effort is also connoted by the word, yes? The use of all these synonyms in the extract creates a vivid picture of exhausted, broken men marching from the battlefield and enhances the general atmosphere of defeat and hopelessness. So we can say that a carefully chosen word from a group of synonyms is a great asset not only on the printed page but also in a speaker's utterance, because if the word is not carefully chosen, then as Mark Twain says, the difference between the right word and just the right word is the difference between the lightning and the lightning bug. So the skill to choose the most suitable word in every context and every situation is an essential part of the language learning process. We should know both how to discern the various connotations in the meanings of synonyms and how to choose the word appropriate to each context.